Haliburton-Kawartha Lakes-Brock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services. I've asked about the horrendous murders in Renfrew County far too many times. The Attorney General couldn't say how many offenders are let go when they refuse to sign their probation officers, or why Crown attorneys aren't notified when this happens. The families of 3 innocent women have suffered because of the inadequate support for our over 800 probation and parole officers. The government is far too silent about the gaping holes in our criminal justice system. This week, the minister in the legislature said that he cherishes the work of probation and parole officers, despite the fact that this government won't provide the resources to monitor the 51,000 released offenders. So, Mr. Speaker, how can the minister defend his empty words when this government spending on monitoring offenders is the second lowest in the country?
Thank you. Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services.
Speaker, let me first start by expressing, I think, all of our condolences to the family and friends of the communities of the victims. Speaker, I've said this before. The events that took place in Lana County were shocking, brutal, and disturbing. Speaker, as criminal charges have been laid and the police investigation is continuing, I cannot comment on any details of this case and can only speak more generally. And Speaker, that is a point that I think everybody should be quite sensitive about, because we want justice to be served and police to be able to complete their work and the investigation that they're doing. Speaker, everybody has the right to feel safe in their homes and their communities. Ontario's probation and parole officers are committed to supervising offenders and holding offenders accountable. There is, Speaker, a comprehensive pre-release planning that is undertaken before an offender is released from a correctional facility. I will provide more details in my supplementary.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the question is about saving lives. What happened in Renfrew County was not just a tragedy, it was the depraved violence of a dangerous man. And it just doesn't make any sense why this government couldn't be more vigilant. We know that probation office orders are enforceable whether or not they're signed, but it scares me to think what will happen when other offenders are let go and the resources for better monitoring just aren't there. Bill 130, introduced by my colleague, the member from Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke, is addressing part of that issue, but the fact remains that the likelihood for very high-risk offenders to reoffend is more than 60%. So when will the minister face Ontarians to say that's just not good enough? Finally, start supporting the needs of our probation officers and assessing high-risk offenders before they are released. Please.
Speaker, our probation and parole officers.
Please. Thank you. Minister.
Speaker, our probation and parole officers work extremely hard. They develop community supervision plans for offenders that outlines the types of programs and services that are required for their safer return to the community. In the community, Speaker, ongoing monitoring and assessment tools are used to ensure that the offender can be safely managed in the community. And Speaker, but I fully recognize, I think we all recognize who are in public service, that there's always more work that can be done in reducing probation and parole officer caseloads and ensuring that our community is safe. And that is why, Speaker, we are committed to supporting our probation and parole officers by working collaboratively through a joint working committee between the ministry and the union that represents our probation and parole officers and their workload. I'm personally committed to continue to work and make sure that women and all members of our community are safe at all times. Thank you.